Hi, and welcome to my channel, Laura's Library Card. So today's video is actually a 2-for-1 deal. I'm going to run through very quickly, I promise, very brief. I'm going to run through what I have checked out on my library cards, and then the other half of the video, which is going to be the bulk of it, is my Romanceathon TBR. So let's dive right into what I have checked out. So I think all of these have been mentioned before in a previous video, which is why I'm just going to say name, title, any progress I've made. Quick, promise. We'll get to the good stuff. Currently checked out on my library card, I have I'll Be Gone in the Dark by McNamara, which I have not started. Hidden Valley Road by Robert Kolker, which I think I'm about a third of the way through. It's really interesting. It's about this family with 12 children in like the 60s, and I think ultimately 6 of those 12 children are diagnosed ultimately with schizophrenia. So it's sort of a nature versus nurture history of, you know, psychotherapy and the discussion of how this one family like dealt with these kids. I'm actually really enjoying Hidden Valley Road so far, and I think it was an Oprah Book Club pick. Still working on Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. I'm almost at the 75% mark, which I definitely should have been like over the weekend, but I'm enjoying it. White Fragility by DiAngelo and Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates. New Moon by Stephenie Meyer, which I think I'm about halfway finished, and I gotta say, it might be like my favorite Twilight book. I know that's like an unpopular opinion, but I'm thinking about doing a whole Twilight series, so I don't know. Comment down below if you feel like I should. I think I said that in another video, but I don't care. Comment down below if anyone even gives a crap about Twilight. Okay, so for the Romanceathon. So the Romanceathon is a readathon that's happening June 22nd through June 28th. It's just this week, and I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, I read a lot of romance, and so this is just another excuse to keep on reading a bunch of romance books. The Romanceathon is being hosted by gabbyreads and Jacqueline Wheeler. I will put one of their announcement videos or both of their channel links down below in the description. And this year's Romanceathon has 5 prompts as well as a buddy read. And technically that buddy read for me personally would fulfill all 5 of those prompts. So I intend to do the buddy read book, which is If I Never Met You by Mhairi McFarlane. If I don't manage to get one, then I'm going to kind of like use that book as the coverage for that prompt. So the 5 prompts, I have a bunch of books checked out from the library with the intention of completing those 5 prompts, and let me just quickly run through them. Actually, the very first prompt is a romance book that was published in 2020, and that's the only one that I don't have something for that I think I might end up using If I Never Met You for. I mean, I have a bunch of romance books that I want to read, but I don't actually have anything currently checked out to fulfill the prompt of a 2020 book. The second Romanceathon prompt is a romance book with an illustrated cover, so it's not a real life picture on the front. So I have checked out Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas, which is like sort of this abstract graffiti looking kind of art. I don't know if that really like counts because it's not like a real picture, but it's not really like an illustrated cover either. So that one's sort of like a, oh, maybe not. But I do have also checked out a book by Avery Flynn that's called Parental Guidance, and it's about a hockey series. So I have both of those checked out, and the Parental Guidance book for sure has an illustrated cover, and I think it's adorable. And I haven't really read that many sports romance books, so, and I also have never read Avery Flynn. So I have Parental Guidance checked out as a option for the illustrated cover. The third Romanceathon prompt is read a romance book that features your favorite romance trope, or your favorite trope maybe. And I have a lot of tropes that I really like, but I would say one of my top favorite romance tropes is the like fake relationship / fake marriage trope. And usually people like are in, supposedly they're pretending to be in this relationship even though they're not. They're either And then of course, throughout the course of the book, they end up falling for each other. And so as they're falling for each other, like my favorite things about this trope is that those lines of like, is this person acting or are they have real feelings, gets really blurred. And I just love that. I love seeing, especially when it's done in two perspectives, and then you can see how she is like, I'm trying to reach out to him, and he's just like interpreting it as like, wow, she just like suddenly became a really good actor. And I'm like, but she loves you. Can you not see that? So the prompt for Romanceathon is your favorite romance trope. And for the fake relationship, both If I Never Met You fulfills that trope. And also, The Negotiator by Avery Flynn is a book that I have checked out that does fulfill that trope. And it's like this billionaire guy who I think has like hired this person to be like a buffer and like potentially even a fake fiance to kind of keep people away to satisfy his mom, something like that. I don't know. I was like, fake relationship, I'm sold. I have that one checked out. The fourth Romanceathon prompt is read a new to you romance author. And I've actually never read Penelope Douglas or Avery Flynn. Can I call myself a romance reader? I'm doing it. So Punk 57 could work. Either The Negotiator or Parental Guidance by Avery Flynn could work because I've never read either of those. If I've Never Met You could work because I've never read Mhairi McFarlane. And I also have Insidious by Aleatha Romig checked out, and I've never read Aleatha Romig. So I'm kind of leaving this one new to you romance author prompt wide open, just because almost any of the books that I have checked out currently could fulfill that prompt. I also have checked out Trade Me by Courtney Milan, and I've never read a Courtney Milan book. And this one sort of doesn't seem like a fake romance book, but they sort of like trade lives. So like, I don't know, it seemed really interesting, and I've never read Courtney Milan, so that could work for the fourth prompt. This one's wide open. And the last prompt is read a romance book that has 5 or more words in the title. So of course, If I Never Met You fulfills that prompt. But I also have checked out Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. So I've never read Talia Hibbert either, so she could potentially fit in that fourth prompt. But Get a Life, Chloe Brown is 5 words, and it's sort of as far as I could tell from the blurb, it was a woman who's like, I've always done things a certain way, and I've had a near-death experience. So I want to like change my life and be a bad girl, and I'm going to find a man who can do that for me. And I'm like, ooh, I like that trope too. I really like it when usually it's the female character that I'm reading because it's romance books who's like a virgin who wants to be de-virginized, or who's tired of being the goody two-shoes and like wants this like bad boy to teach her a thing or two. And those can be kind of cringy, but also they can be really great. So we'll see. So that's everything that I have checked out on all my library cards, and a bunch of options that I have that I'm leaving open for the Romanceathon. And I'm really looking forward to just like cramming my week full of romance and really just like getting all the feels. I'm not going to finish some of the other books I have going, like Eye of the World. I think our goal is to have it finished by June 29th. So I'm still gonna have to find time to finish that book during this week of romance. But I think between romance books, when I need like a break from all of the love, I might use that time to read Eye of the World. And also, I still have to finish Daughter of the Forest, which I am reading with my cousin. And she's already done and moving on to other books, and the next books in the series. And I'm like, wait for me. So I will, but there is a romance subplot in Daughter of the Forest. So I'm not going to count it toward Romanceathon, especially since it's a reread. But I want to kind of include that in my reading schedule this week. So that's everything I have checked out. Those are my Romanceathon TBR choices. Leave a comment down below if any of those are ones you've read, or if you want to yell at me for never having read Penelope Douglas or Avery Flynn or any of the other, Aleatha Romig, any of the authors that I have been neglecting. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. The fourth romance trope The fourth Romanceathon prompt. The fourth Romanceathon prompt. Oh my gosh, I cannot say this. The fourth prompt is a new to you romance author. And so actually I've never read Avery Flynn and I've never read any Penelope Douglas. Can I even call myself a romance author? Or, oh my God,